Most people think that electricians wire houses, but what I do, it's a completely different world. I troubleshoot automation software, sensors, electrical failures, and sometimes things do explode. I work on million-dollar machines, and one mistake can cost millions of dollars. In this video, we're going to break down what an industrial electrician really does, why is it one of the most underrated careers out there, and what I do on a typical day at the factory. Troubleshooting PLC failures, looking at electrical circuits and fuses, troubleshooting motor contactors, relays, starters. All sounds good, but what does it really mean? What it means is we are the first responders when there is an automation failure at the factory, and the only thing stopping the factory from losing tens of thousands of dollars or making tens of thousands of dollars is us. In my mind, the world of industrial maintenance has three main departments or functions. You got your mechanics, aka maintenance technicians or millwrights. You got your electricians, aka automation, electrical, or instrumentation, aka controls technicians. And you got engineering. Engineering's in charge. They pass down projects. They ask the technicians for help. Industrial electricians and controls technicians, we figure out why machines won't run when no one else can figure it out. And the mechanics, anything with a big wrench, it's on them. That's a good way to look at it. Now, day in, day out, I come into work and we have a little meeting at the beginning of the shift. And I've had this experience at every job I've had. Generally speaking, I'll either get verbally assigned a few small projects, whether I'm, wiring something up for a project or doing a preventative maintenance work order. Usually there's a piece of paper accompanied with it that I have to sign off on. And then I just kind of do my own thing. I generally have the freedom to manage my own time, and I have a list of duties that need to get done by a certain deadline, and I'm responsible for answering calls. When machines don't work, they call me. The most important information that I have for you guys in my mind is, what does this job feel like? What does it feel like after a long weekend driving into work? And personally, I enjoy it. I don't get any of the stress that's accompanied with like an office job or having to deal with a lot of people. And I personally get a lot of satisfaction out of fixing these issues on a day-to-day basis. Another positive is that we get to work on new technologies, and we're always constantly learning and doing different things every day. And I'm extraordinarily grateful that I found something that's such a great fit for my personality. Before I go into a typical day, all I'm going to do is basically read you what I did on a typical day. I will change the details as to not give out any company secrets and be vague about the place that I work. But before I go into that, I just want to talk about why I think this is one of the best careers out there. Even without the gray tsunami or whatever the heck it's called, we have 30 to 40% of our skilled automation, electrical, industrial electricians will be retiring in the next 4 years. So demand is going to skyrocket very soon for these roles. But even without that, there's already a skilled labor shortage. And so we are in very high demand. Our wages go up, up, up. Other companies will constantly be trying to recruit you, and it feels pretty damn good, especially considering that this is the type of job you either get through an apprenticeship or a 2-year associate's degree. It's a pretty good deal if you ask me. If you're getting into this career, I would expect a starting salary somewhere around 70,000 to 80,000, but realistically, after a few years, your base salary should jump a little bit. I'm going to say on average, base salary would be 80 to 90. But it's not unheard of to have a base salary around 110,000, and most of us work overtime. So it is very realistic that within a few years, you will find yourself making $120,000 to $150,000 a year in this sector if you're willing to work 50 to 55 hours a week, you will very likely make well over six figures doing this type of work. But now, let me just walk you through what a typical day looks like. I'm just going to walk you through a pretend typical day. This is not real as an industrial electrician, aka electrical maintenance technician. So here we go. Typical day. Come in for the morning meeting, get passed down a few jobs, what they want you to get done, as long as you're not working on emergencies. And on this typical pretend day, we're doing a startup. So it's been a long weekend. We're going to start up all the furnaces, all the presses, all the robots. We're going to get everything going. So there's going to be problems and you need to be on point. So they go to light up one of the big football field sized furnaces, and one of the zones is not working. On the initial light up, you need all the gas valves on every zone to go full open. One of these gas valves is not reading full open. So you go up there, you have to use electrical schematics and PLC logic to troubleshoot and figure out which valve is having the issue. Once you figure it out, you go up there, you tap it with a screwdriver and it starts working. If the old taparoonie didn't work, you would have had to take the thing apart and modify the limit switches inside of that gas valve. Thank God we didn't have to do that. Next, we're lighting up another furnace and one of those zones goes out. Turns out we just got to make some adjustments to the gas going to the burner because there's been some changes in the atmospheric pressure and weather, and it's been a long weekend. Maybe things are full of dust, whatever. So you make some minor adjustments on that, good to go. So now that we've fixed the two main big issues, we can get to the planned maintenance, planned work. It turns out that one of the HMI, human machine interface machine screens, is basically a computer monitor for industrial machines that needs to be replaced. So you got to go ahead and replace it. It's pretty simple. You pop the old one off, put the new one in, install a couple wires, good to go. So you install that new screen, boot up that particular large industrial multi-million-dollar machine, and it doesn't want to start. The emergency stop safety circuit, all the safety features are holding you out from starting. So you go into your electrical schematics, and using your skill set, you can use the electrical schematics to see which discrete inputs to the safety module are missing, and you figure out which particular e-stop thinks that it's pressed. You take that bad boy apart, use your multimeter, take some readings, give it the old wiggly jiggly, good to go. So now it's about halfway through the shift. You've put out 3 significant fires. The plant is running, everyone's happy. If you were not there, the plant would not be running at all. You have saved the machine, or you have saved the company about $50,000 so far, in your head at least. I don't know if that's actually true. Took your little lunch break, chilling out, doing your thing, boom. Another issue on yet another furnace. So one of the furnaces, a couple of the burners don't want to turn on. Everything looks like it should be working. You look at the PLC logic. PLC logic says the burners are on, but the burners aren't on. You take some voltage readings, and it turns out that things that are supposed to be turned on, that say they are turned on, are not turned on. So you don't know what to do. We're in trouble. Is there a hardware issue on the PLC? We don't know. So before you go down that rabbit hole and spend thousands of dollars on parts, turn the machine off, turn it back on, and lo and behold, everything's working. So I hope that made sense. That's a pretty typical day, a moderately busy day. And yeah, so you're going to get PMs, preventative maintenance. You're going to get planned projects, and you're going to fix stuff as it breaks. Generally speaking, you're going to be the top dog for troubleshooting with engineering support if you can't figure it out. But generally, they're not on the floor helping you. You are the top guy on the floor figuring this stuff out. So yeah, that's a day in the life. I really enjoy my job. I guess it's all dependent on your personality. As long as you got a little bit of thick skin, you're okay with getting dirty, and you like solving puzzles, you like feeling like you're respected, you dislike being micromanaged, this is a good job for you. And if you play your cards right, you can easily make well into the 6 figures as an industrial electrician or an instrumentation and electrical technician, automation technician, controls technician. Yeah, man, that's it. Check out my channel. I make videos like this. I do basic tutorials on industrial troubleshooting. I'm working on a big project right now. I'm going to basically make a mini factory with PLCs and sensors and pneumatic actuators. It's pretty fun. So yeah, that's all I got, guys. And thanks for checking out the channel. Catch you next time. Peace.